Hello there, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you all are doing well. Guys, I'm so sorry for not putting out my match reaction for the game against Cardiff. I was unavailable to watch the game, so I couldn't do so much, and I've only just gotten back just to get this video out because there's quite a lot to talk about, and I won't lie. Now, this is one of those episodes where you have to zoom out because over the last few days, Chelsea's news hasn't been about lineups, nor tactics, or even results. Even it's been about structure, trust, power, and actually direction. And on the surface, we're being told that it's business as usual for Enzo Maresca and Chelsea. But when you read between the lines, the feel is that a club the feel is like a club quietly asking itself some serious question, and today we're going to talk about it, so let's just go right into it. So we're being told that it's as close to business as usual as possible, but then the truth is that reports are coming out to say that Maresca wants to be left alone to work, and Chelsea as a club believe in constant debriefs, positive or negatives, are part of the collaborative model, and this is the first tension because those two things they don't naturally align. Okay, Maresca is coming from a school of thought where the coach sets the vision, the staff execute, and feedbacks comes in blocks. While this Chelsea ownership model believe in constant collaboration, constant dialogue, and constant review, and neither is inherently wrong. To be honest, they are not wrong. It's just that frictions happens when expectations aren't aligning. And this is just the thing, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Reports now says that Maresca is fed up with having to explain himself internally, and that he questions whether those in control really trust him. And I'll feel that way because he's been called in to coach, to manage the squad, to manage a team. Okay, I believe that the directors hired him for something. They should allow him carry out his job. Have you can't employ me for a job and then expect and then you're teaching me my job. Okay, it doesn't work like that. You've hired him for something. They should allow him to do his work. And this is where I am in full support of Enzo Maresca because I don't understand why. To me, it feels like the directors actually choosing or deciding what players or what team Maresca needs to pick for every game, and it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be the case at all. He's been called in to train a team, to coach a team. They should allow him implement his idea, impact, teach them, grow them, and all that. A situation whereby there is always constant interference and constant questioning. I mean, it doesn't bode well for anyone. Okay, I understand that the club believe in constant collaboration and communication and all that. At the same time, the coach needs to be allowed to focus on the job for which he has been employed for. Okay, and they need to allow him decide decide how he wants the team to play. They all already had the interview before they employed him, okay, and gave him the job to manage Chelsea. So I believe that having done all that and you've done all your I's and crossed your T's, you've done all your checks and background checks and all that. He has proven beyond every reasonable doubt that he can be trusted. Hence, they should allow him, the higher ups, Bedak Debali, Todd Bowley, and Paul Winstanley and Stewart and all that. They should allow him to do his job. Otherwise, this is not going to just end here. It's going to get to a point where it's going to right now. News are coming out to say that it's fed up already, and I don't blame him. Okay, because when the manager starts to doubt the trust upstairs, it just seeps into the confidence, the decision making, and communication. And honestly, you can already see it. Okay, the press conference feels defensive, the comment feels loaded, even when he's not saying anything, and the tone feels tense. And this is a man that is lacking belief in himself or in his ideas. This is a man frustrated that he has to keep justifying himself. There are times that Enzo Maresca mess things up, and that's one of those things. This is his stint as a manager, and his second year coaching a club of Chelsea's pedigree. Okay, and mistakes are bound to happen, especially in situations where you think as someone like him think has a lot. Okay, he cannot even Guardiola doesn't get it 100%. Okay, but in a situation whereby they want to be questioned, and yeah, we fans we see mistakes that Enzo Maresca makes in certain games, games like Leeds where he shot himself in the foot, games against Atlanta as well. We have three full backs playing as a midfield, playing in the midfield, and then Moises Caicedo reverting to the right back. All those things are questionable, but then again, you need to allow the manager implement his ideas, get his ideas, and stop questioning him every now and then, every game by game. I mean, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Plus the fact that it is tough enough training or coaching the, the type of players, the age range of players that Chelsea have. Okay, these are players that you need to actually coach. It's like you need to hold them by the end to cross on what to do every now and then. Having having going through all that, and then you still have to come back to give reports and all that. I mean, it's there was news yesterday that said that even Maresca was the body language was telling that man struggles to sleep. He kept winking during press conference and all that. It means that he's trying, he's hardly closed his eyes. And just after the game, apparently on the news again, he says that he needs to go and watch a few clips for the game against as we prepare to take on Newcastle. So he knows what he's doing, and he's not someone who's too proud to admit is wrong. During the game against Leeds and during the games against Atlanta, he came out openly and accepted his mistakes. And that's what we fans want to hear. And I think that's good enough for everyone to understand that he's also not perfect. Plus the fact that the players that he has, okay, we only have aside when you look at the squad depth, it's not there. We could just have players on the bench, but they are not there. They can't give him what he wants. And that's why he's come out openly to say that he wish he can play the same starting 11 game in game out, but it cannot work like that for the load for the numbers of games that Chelsea have to play. It cannot even work. It's not even feasible. Okay, and then we're told that Maresca has spoken to members of the sporting hierarchy, and there's a planned summer review, but then which is actually crucial, and it's not framed as a stick or twist. It's like where do we need to improve overall, and that's important because it just tells us that Chelsea aren't panicking. They are not pressing the nuclear button, and they are still committed to seeing the season through with Maresca. But here's the thing: a review doesn't mean that there are no issues or there isn't any concern. It just means that concerns exist, but it hasn't gotten to the tipping point yet. And this is Chelsea checking the engine light and making sure that everything goes well. And I want to believe that this will be the case. But then we fans have seen this many times. We've seen this script many times. Conte had the same thing. Uh, Pochettino, when he saw that it was too much for him to handle, this was the same route he took, coming out to the media and making bold claims and all that. And Maresca, during the interview, said something. This is something that I stumbled across, and he said one of the questions that he got asked after post match was like his response was the Chelsea fans deserve the best, and it just means a lot of things, even though it's not saying so much, and means that he's tired of having to go through all this only for him to be questioned, and he's not given the right tools. Okay, and then a review news outlets also have it that a review doesn't mean that there isn't concern, like I said. Okay, it just means that it means concerns do exist, but then it doesn't cross the tipping line, and then and all that. Now, there's also talks that uh, Chelsea are admiring certain managers and managers like Deserbi, Howie, Iraola, Oliver Glasner, and Iraola, Adoni Iraola, um, Liam Rosino of Strasbourg, and then Xavi Hernandez. Uh, okay, so if they're having issues with Maresca, you think there won't be issues with Deserbi? I mean, Deserbi is worse than Maresca. If things don't go his way, he's going to come out and publicly criticize the entire Chelsea squad, the entire sporting directors, even as far as the ownership. That's Deserbi. Okay, and the only decent manager I can actually agree to is Oliver Glasner. I'm not going to even talk about um, Rosiner of Strasbourg, and then but Chelsea then they also have to think about profile alignment and look at when you look at the trajectory that Chelsea are going or trading on. They're looking for coach who improves players, that are comfortable in a system and who fits the ladder philosophy. And the only person that we can point out there is Liam Rosino, okay, who's been linked to Chelsea as well. And this tells you that Chelsea just want internal growth model because he's the coach of the sister club Strasbourg, and some cop. But the twist here is that a lot of the players right now are behind Enzo Maresca. Uh, They do not want another reset. I, for one, do not want another reset. Okay, we're starting to get used to Enzo Maresca. Okay, and I'm starting to like the fact that he's a bold manager. Okay, the players will not want another reset. Players like Cole Palmer, Enzo Fernandez, even Levi Cole, even Caicedo, okay, would not want Maresca to leave. Okay, and at Chelsea, player sentiment matters. That's just the truth of it. Okay, and so yeah, let me know what you guys think about this whole thing because this needs to stop. Okay, this needs to die down so that we can focus on important things, which is what we fans love to do: watch football, watch our team play. Okay, I understand that Maresca is not pleased and all that, and I understand that the both parties need to come to a compromise. It is not rocket science. I understand that the club believe in building players and all that, but then Maresca is also an ambitious person. This is not after this is someone who has tasted silver well. Of course, would dare himself and trust himself to be able to deliver. He's got his own ambition. He's got his own goals. He wants to win trophies. He wants to be able to compete with top managers. And the tools that he's been dealt with is not good enough. It's not good enough. These are players that we know that maybe in the next 2, 3, 4 years, they probably most of them will probably grow into the players that we hope that they will become. But we cannot continue like this. They also need experience to be able to reach where they want to, and that's just it. So both parties need to come to a compromise, and I hope that they're going to be able to do that over the summer. Okay, because apparently they're talking about uh, Adam Watson of Crystal Palace and Kobe Meno of Manchester United. They're also looking at players at the centre back, just in case they end up selling players like if they let players like Tosin or maybe Chaloba. Chaloba is bound to leave, even Badiashile leave. They will also have to dip into the transfer market for that purpose, and then we also have to factor into the return of Mohamed Sarr and Aaron Anselmino, who's actually having a blast of a season at Dortmund, and it's been confirmed by Sport Blitz that builds that Chelsea do not intend to sell Aaron Anselmino. So let's see how this this will how this will play out on the long run. So, like I said, they are looking at a midfielder in the summer of 2026, possibly a centre back and all that. So let's just see how it goes, because in the end, having to invert players like Reece James and Malugusu into the midfield, it's not in innovation. It's done out of necessity, and I'm glad that the club are taking that into account. Okay, it's also to also uh, reduce the workload of Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. If we look at players like Luke Shaw, he's had he had so many games to play, and then he started having muscle issues and all that. If we overload these players, this will have to be. I'm afraid this might end up being the situation with them again, and we cannot afford that, especially Moises Caicedo. Okay, so let's just wait to see. Hope that the hierarchy or the higher ups will do right by getting the right profile of players to help Enzo Maresca implement his idea even better. So now let's now move on to news that have just come up as regards the stadium development. And you guys need to zoom out even further, because Stamford Bridge development looks increasingly unlikely. Else Court is complicated, and funding is uncertain. The temporary relocation to Wembley is what's looking very viable, and this tells you the important thing that Chelsea are. I don't know, man. The money is there. I don't know why it's taking them so long to make a decision. I don't know, man. Apparently, this is what happens when you have too many cooks in the kitchen. One chef is tilting to one side and the other is tilting to the other, and this is just it. Bully apparently likes big, excuse me, multi-purpose ideas, while the others, people like Beda de Bali and Wiz or whatever his name is called. Okay, they are more cautious and trying to be more careful and all that. And all this matters because managers don't work in isolation; they work within institutional turbulence. When the structures are shifting, clarity becomes harder to find. So, where does this leave us? Because it doesn't mean that Chelsea are in crisis now, but then again, they are not settled. And Maresca, excuse me, is not under immediate threat. However, the constant situation of having be evaluated, being to be evaluated, might just push him to the point where man is just going to take a walk. And it could not be, might be that Chelsea did not end up sacking him, but it could just be like maybe mutual agreement to part ways, probably due to the fact that maybe uh, goals do not align or anything like that. But then I hope that Maresca stays, and then the club actually can both parties can meet in the middle and do what's right. Okay, that's just it. But for now, we're still a couple of weeks away from the transfer window. Maresca should just work with what he has and bring out the best or make the most of what he actually has um, um, in and or what has to work with. So let me know what you guys think about everything that I've been said here. Don't forget to like the video and share, because I mean it's the only way you can help the channel grow. And don't, if you've not subscribed, do hit the subscribe button. It's free, so I don't know why you've not subscribed yet. And don't forget to turn on your notification button so that you're notified when I make a video or when I put out any other video. And then yeah, if there's any other thing that comes up between now and the time when I give you my match preview, my lineup for the game as Chelsea welcome, or they go to face Newcastle, which is another tough weekend for Chelsea. And the annoying part is that Chelsea will be playing on Saturday and it's an early kickoff. I don't know why it has to be an early kickoff, because it doesn't leave Chelsea with enough time to rest, whereas Newcastle have had a week rest. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about everything in the comment section below. I'd really like to know your thoughts, and yeah, that's all for now. Until next time, it's Chelsea first, rivals next. Peace.